Wow. That's good. Hello, peace and blessings to you. Welcome back to Grace.Filled Homestead. I'm so excited to be back with you guys for another video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing something kind of cool and kind of different. I'm kind of putting my own spin on elderberry syrup. Now, as you know, this can be done multiple ways, but since your girl doesn't have a stove, or an oven for that matter, I am going to be using my Instapot to create some elderberry syrup. And I share this because there have been others that told me that you too don't have a stove, that maybe you're off grid, maybe you're just having life like I'm having life for me. But whatever the reason is, I just want you to be encouraged and inspired knowing that there's more than one way to do multiple things. And just because you don't have a stove doesn't mean that your babies won't get sick. It doesn't mean that the winter and cold and flu season is not approaching us. And it is our job and our responsibility to absolutely do the very best we can to make sure that we are prepared, to make sure that we have what we need, and to make sure that our families are safe and well, regardless of the storms and obstacles that are going on around us. So without further ado, let me turn you around and show you what ingredients I am going to be using, and we can go ahead and get this thing started. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and give me a heart. And if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos, because I have a lot of goodies coming, including making my own teas, including making my own tinctures, showing you my herb garden and my green stalks. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get us plugged up. The next thing I am going to do is I am going to add 4 of the 6 cups of needed water. And I'm back with the other 2 cups of filtered water. And I was going to use a different one for the elderberries, but you know what? I'm going to actually just use the exact same one. We need 2 cups, and you know what? This is 8 ounces. The serving size is 8 servings per container. Each serving size is 1/4 a cup. 1/4 a cup times 8, 2 cups. So we don't actually even have to measure it out. I will, however, just take a look in here and just make sure that, you know, I don't see any like leaves or stems or anything like that. It does smell good. Yeah, see, like, oh, I'm looking and I see a rock here. So we don't want to have a rock in our elderberry. So it probably is best to like just kind of filter and sort. But at the end of the day, it's all going to be filtered at the end anyway. And that's why it is important as much as possible to grow your own and or get organic. Now I see a few stems that have went in there, 2 or 3, and that's okay. There was a few berries that needed to be crushed up. They were kind of big, so just kind of crushing those and just looking along the way. Okay. All right. Okay. So that part is all done. I have my 4 cups, excuse me, I have my 6 cups of water. I have my 2 cups of elderberry. I am gonna go ahead and add, am I gonna add 1 teaspoon? 1 tablespoon, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon. I'm gonna go ahead and add a heaping tablespoon of vanilla. And you didn't see that splatter. This is real life over here. I did say that I was going to use 1 inch of ginger and 1/2 inch of turmeric. I just put that in here. You could absolutely grate it. I had the grater here to grate, but I'm just going to leave it like that. And I don't have the sticks of cinnamon. I'm not really sure what happened to my sticks of cinnamon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 tablespoon, 1 heaping tablespoon of regular cinnamon to accommodate for the cinnamon that I don't have. Moving right along, I think I am going to do a teaspoon of whole cloves. If you don't have whole cloves, you could absolutely use clove powder. I'm just gonna add that there. I think that that'll be good. The last thing I'm gonna do is take this lemon and just roll it. I'm gonna take the lemon juice and a little bit of this zest. So I think it was washed. And if not, I'm just giving it a quick little rinse. I'm cutting off the tail ends, which I don't know, why do I do that? Why do I cut off the tail ends? I don't know. But I'm gonna just zest this lemon. There we go. So I'm just gonna zest, ooh, it smells so good. So I'm gonna just zest this lemon, you know, as much as I can, as much as wants to come out. I'm gonna use the lemon juice, and then we're gonna set it and forget it. Okay, so I am just squeezing. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So I'm just getting it all squeezed here. Tell me, if you make your own elderberry syrup, I'm interested to know what ingredients you use. I was going to use oranges, like just one orange and half a lemon, but I don't have any oranges. I had to use what I had, and I encourage you not to let what you don't have stop you from trying and getting started and just doing a thing. And so there we go. And you know what I'm gonna do? Just throw the whole thing in there. So let me wash my hands. Okay, so everything is pretty much mixed here. We had a few things to spill, and that's okay. That's a part of cooking. We're not stressing the small stuff. We're not doing that over here. So I'm just giving it a good mixy, mixy, mixy. Oh, it smells pretty good. I think it's going to smell even better once it gets going. So I'm going to go ahead and get my top on here. The pressure, I think, is it on high? Well, let's get this manual setting. It's on high, and let's get the cook time. I'm gonna do this for 8 minutes. 8 minutes on high. Okay, so I'm gonna do this on high for 8 minutes, and once it's done for 8 minutes, I'm gonna let all the steam go all over the place. And once I'm done with that, I'm gonna just leave it so that it can cool. And once it's done cooling, oh, wait a minute. So I'm gonna let this cook for its 8 minutes once the pressure is built up. And then once it cools off, I am gonna go ahead and strain everything. And after I strain everything, I am going to go ahead and add some honey. So I just need to get the stuff out I don't need so that I can get in the goodness that I do need. Ooh. And that's this 5-pound thing of raw unfiltered honey. Now, I'm not using all of this, but I am going to use a nice amount. I think I am going to use 1 cup. Now, again, this is where you can kind of be creative. You're the person in charge. You do what you want to do. You do what you feel, boo. So I saw a recipe that said 1 cup, well, excuse me, 1/2 a cup of honey. But then I saw another recipe that said use however much elderberry syrup, use the same amount of honey. I did see where they use the same amount of elderberry syrup, the same amount of honey. They put it on the stove a little bit, and then they used it. I'm not doing that, okay? I'm not paying for raw, unfiltered honey to have its properties lost in that heating process. No, that's not what I'm gonna do. You do what feels good for you, and they were doing that because it makes it last longer. But you guys know we're a family of 7. There's always at least 6 of us here. So we are not going to waste this expensive honey. And what we're going to do is use it anyway. By the time we each get a spoonful, it's not even going to last us a month. I think with this recipe, it should keep for a month in the refrigerator as is. And I can understand the concern if you are maybe a smaller family, if it's only 1 or 2 of you. But again, because it is so many of us, that's not a concern of mine. If you are worried, I would suggest you take it to 3 cups of water, 1 cup of elderberry, 1 cinnamon stick, 1/4 of a lemon, half a tablespoon of vanilla, half an inch of ginger, and half a cup or 1/4 a cup of honey. So I would just reduce that by half if maybe you are not as big a family as we are. But you can make that call. I'm just here telling you and showing you what I'm doing. So hang tight and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, it just finished. So I am going to release the steam and turn this off. And that's going to be the end of that. So again, I'm going to let it cool. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I would presume that I at least need to give it, you know, maybe 20 or so minutes. Maybe I'll try to see and let you know how long it was that it took. And I was going to use this really big jar, and I thought about it. Hold on. It smells so incredible right now. I can't even. It smells absolutely amazing. It's totally not what it went in. Man. Oh my goodness. Like, that is the best smell ever. Okay, let me focus. I was going to use a big bottle like this, but you know what I'm thinking? Big bottle, little hands. So I think that although it would probably be better to have 1 or 2 of these, that I am going to go ahead and do something smaller like this. So, you know, sometimes we have to think about those kind of things and make decisions. Okay, so I'm going to let that cool off. Let me look at the time so I can tell you approximately how long it took. It is 2:53 right now. And I'll let you know what it is when we come back. Okay, so I was deciding, you know what? I wanted to add a little bit of elderflower. I have some elderflower here in the apothecary, and so I am going to add about 1 tablespoon to this while it is still cooling. So I thought that I would do that. Just going to give it a little more medicinal properties. You're going to get a little bit more parts of the plant instead of just the berry, but the flower and all that as well. And so I think what I'm going to do is cover this a little bit just so we can get the maximum for that 1 little tablespoon. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but I think, you know, a little goes a long way. I think you'd be surprised what that little bit can do. So I'm going to just let this seat for a little bit longer. This is still pretty hot, and we'll come back. All right, so it's been about 40 minutes and I am back so that we can go ahead and get this made, get this done, because you guys know I don't have a stove, so I need this pot so that I can do it. I made an error. You know, I did buy this so that I could make some elderberry syrup. I got a secret. That is the elderberry syrup that I intend to sell. And so the elderberry syrup that, I mean, it's absolutely fine. But when I went a couple of weeks ago to a class, my teacher, Kaylee and Mom over at the Homestead, they sell this honey from their farm, and I had some honey in my tea there, and I just enjoyed my time of fellowship and just learning from them. And so I purchased a couple of these jars of honey so that I could use in my tinctures and different things that I had to do. But because of where I headed, my mind just wasn't on it, and I was like, wait, I didn't want to use this honey. I have this honey for something else, and I have this special honey from their honey, from the Honey Homestead. I have to use the honey from the Honey Homestead. So really quickly, what I am going to do is, this is cool to the touch. It's been about 40 minutes. I mean, it's still warm, but it's enough that I can go ahead and make it. I'm gonna see, hopefully this works the way I want it to work. I can't find my strainer, y'all. Like, I don't know what happened to it. So I am going to bring you around so you can see me. Okay, so I'm gonna see. Yeah, okay, that kind of works the way I want it to work. Because I cannot find my strainer, and I've been looking and looking and looking and looking. So ideally, we know what we would do, and ideally that would be, you know, that we would use the strainer. But since I don't have the strainer, we are just making do. And so because of this happening, that means I'm going to have to restrain again, but that's okay.
I just want to take a moment just to encourage you really quick and just say that whether you're on the mountaintop or in the valley, whether everything is going great and well and life is wonderful, or whether you're just wondering, like, can I make it through this day? I just want to encourage you not to give up and not to give in, and to keep being and doing your very best. You're on the right path and you're doing a great job. You might not be able to see it, and things might look dark and they may seem hard, but I promise you, you're on the way to something great. If you don't give up, if you don't give in, great things are going to continue to come your way. So I just want you to be encouraged. Be encouraged in all of the things.
So that was pretty messy. I made a big mess. So I do want to clean as I go. Elderberry is very messy. Okay, so we have about 6 cups of elderberry. Like I said, this is cool to the touch. So all I'm gonna do now is go ahead and add my honey. Kaylee's honey is so good, so I am so super excited about being able to use it again. Okay, so when I look, I see maybe like 1 little seed, and like I said, I'm not worried about that. This is about what I want to use honey wise, basically the whole thing. And I'm just gonna stir it up. So I'm just stirring a little bit more. I pretty much already stirred it up. The jar of honey was 10 ounces. I probably used about 8 ounces, maybe 9 ounces. And so the last thing I'm going to do is taste, and then I'm going to get these jarred up and into the fridge. We're going to tasty. Do I volunteer that wants a tasty taste? My son's walking to the back. Wow. That's good. I'm going to put this in the sink. I'm not a proponent of throwing things, but I don't think that we should use things in like double dip. That's not good. So let me go ahead and bring these a tad bit closer. Got a berry in this one. Now let's see what we can jar up. Ah, don't spill. You know, that's not what I had in mind. Should have used my other bowl that had a little pouring spouts. The problem is, it's not clear. I've only lost a few drops, but I don't want to lose any. This is expensive. You saw the time and love and dedication that was needed to get this made. And we want to get every single drop of it. Whew, I didn't spill any that time. Whew. Or maybe I spilled a drop. Drop here, drop there. Those drops add up. Alrighty. There we go. So here is our first batch. All set. I don't know, some people may not even care if they drop a crumb, but no, baby, we don't waste anything here. We try very hard to. We have animals, so whatever we can't use, goes to the animals. Whatever the animals can't use, get composted. And that's pretty much everything. Okay, so not quite as much as I was hoping for. I was hoping for 3 of these, but you know, I'm gonna count my blessings and be thankful for what I did get. Look, get that last little drop. So, I got a nice little amount here. Again, just tidy as we go, tidy as we go. So, I got almost 2.5. And for that, I'm super, super excited. I hope this video was encouraging minus the mess. And I know that I'm not the only one that makes a mess, so if you make mess, I'm glad to make you feel just a little bit better about making your messes, to know that, hey, I'm not the only one that makes a mess in the kitchen. And I do like to use a tray, and I had a tray right there. I was gonna use it. I'm like, I'm not making a mess. I totally made a mess. But I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for all of your kind comments, for all of your likes. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for just being so sweet and so loving to me. And thank you just for following me along the journey. You know, we don't really know what our journeys look like, but one thing for sure, if we don't give up or end, if we don't faint, we shall reap. And so I say here on my channel, you can do a lot with a little, and that all things grow with His grace. So until the next video, blessings.